Hello, I'm Rex Childhouse, and because things on the internet seem to lose their date references pretty quick, today is Sunday, November 13th, 2022. Yesterday, I put up a video about using styles and addressed headers and footers in Microsoft Word. This morning, had a couple of emails through my system, childhouse.com, and they were asking, one of them was, I'd asked the fellow vet is trying to write a book, which is kind of what generated these, and he was after tables of contents and indexes. So with this one here, I'm going to address tables of content and indexes in Microsoft Word. As I said, I'm using Microsoft Word 2010, so it's 12 years old, but it hasn't changed very much, so I can't see of anything that I would have in this that you couldn't use in the current online-only version. So in order to do this, I'm also going to show you how to change or modify styles, and it's pretty interesting, and if I have time I'll clarify headers and footers with section breaks. So let's move on. Well, I thought I was going to use the document that I had used in the first Microsoft Word video, and turns out I deleted them. One of the things that Microsoft is really nice about, Word is really nice about, is you can save those special formats, those special styles, into just that document. And what I did in my writing of books was I saved that document as a template or as a base file, and then every time I had to start a new book, I opened that up and then used save as, and then saved it as the new title. So what I did was I created the same title styles, just not using the same things, and threw some stuff at it. And I'm going to reformat all of them. It doesn't take very long, and set them up maybe in a better way. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to come over to the right side, because as I said, I like to keep, when I'm doing a book, I like to keep that style availability list off to the right side. The first one I need to or want to modify, because the references don't matter here, so I can start from the top down, video chapter number. I'm going to right click it and then turn around and modify it. And what I want to do is I want to change this to a more common font. So Cambria, I'll leave it as 16. I want it to be bold-faced, and I want this one to be right justified. And let's see, yeah, we'll leave it as it is. And if we click on automatic update, it will, anytime you change this, all of the styles in your document will change as well. That's kind of a dangerous one to do, but we'll do it here for the video for just that one. The second one that we want to update is chapter title. So chapter title, drop down arrow to the right, modify. Once again, we're going to pick something reasonable, and maybe this time we'll go after that Times New Roman. I like Times New Roman. My editor liked Times New Roman. I'm going to make it 20. It's going to be left justified to be adverse to the other one. This time here, let's put a box on this one here, and we'll say that's, and we can change the style of the box. I'm going to put something, do I really want, sure, what the heck. And select auto update, which is kind of dangerous, but I'm going to do it. So, okay, we've got chapter title done. Next one is chapter subtitle. Select modify. Chapter subtitle is going to be right justified as we come down, but we want to pick a reasonable font first, something that's not real aggressive, and we want a reasonable size, and we'll do it italics, just kind of make it look nice. And I think I might have a border on this guy already. I want no border. Okay, that's good. So we'll select video automatic updates, and now we want to do para 1, video para 1, reasonable font again, reasonable size. We'll take all of the stresses off of it, and I think I need to come under borders on this one to make sure I've got no borders selected. Yeah, but this one here, I do want to come under paragraphs under formatting, and I do want to first line tab, and it is left justified, so that is going to be okay. And then video para 2, modify, nice font. We'll take, we don't want that. We'll take, okay. And I need to come, one of them I've got borders on it. I want to get the borders off. There we go. And we'll check and make sure that we don't have indentations here. None. No indentations, no anything special. Okay. So at this point, we've modified all of our styles to be what we want. And now we're going to move on to throw some text in here. And because to do tables of content and index we need material, I'm going to put you on hold while I paste some stuff in. Here's one of those tips that just comes up. I was after just material, so I went to Wikipedia and copied in several chapters about states and went over to Word, and I'm going to bring up Word, and if you just highlight those things on the internet, Control C to copy it, and then Control V to paste it, what you get is you get a lot of savage stuff. These are all hyperlinks, whatever else. You can remove the hyperlink by right-clicking on it and then remove it, but it only removes one, and that's a pretty slow process. So let's undo this whole mess. Take us back to plain paper. The other thing you can do is right-click the paper to bring up this dialog box. This guy here is what we want, and if you select paste the text only, then all those hyperlinks are gone, all the tables are gone, everything is, it's a lot easier to work with. So we're back into our document, and we've got our styles up here. I'm going to leave these up on the very top page just for the moment. What we've got down here is text on several states just formatted into normal, and you can see that it's formatted to normal either by reading the styles panel or by looking at the taskbar, and you'll see that this is normal. So we want to, among other things, we want to add a text here. We want this to be chapter 1. So that's added. And for a chapter title, we want to put the state of Texas. Come on, go down. New keyboard, still getting used to it. Okay. And for the subtitle, we're going to put details about Texas. As I said, I didn't type this stuff up. I'm leaving Wikipedia's reference there. I just grabbed it from Wikipedia to hold it. So what I wanted to do, because this is my chapter number, I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to come over to my styles panel, and I'm going to click on chapter number, and now that is same style as I want for chapter number. This is going to be my chapter title. I'm going to come over here, and because the font, because the text is already here, I can't hit enter at the end of this and get it, and get the style I want. And details about Texas is going to be the subtitle. So we're going to click that, and below the subtitle we have para 1. I'm going to leave this here as normal, and I'm going to make this chapter, this paragraph para 1, video para 1. And then for the rest of these guys, just going to scroll down and to where I find Florida, and make these guys all video para 2, and they will automatically scroll into video para 2. Now that gives us some of the formatting, and there's some things that we can do here because we want to make chapters for each one of these states. So what my next state was Florida. Control V, I want that to be chapter 2. And what state did I pick after that? Contents. Missouri is going to be chapter 3. Like Missouri. South Dakota is going to be chapter 4. And that's the end of it. So using the power of Office, select the state of, and then I'm going to scroll down to my next state. And Control V puts that in. That's going to be my chapter title, and I'm not going to do anything with it right now. I'm going to leave that like it is and kind of get down here a little bit. State of Missouri, be chapter title. State of South Dakota. I'm not going to bore you with copying this information, so I'm going to put the titles and stuff down there and then be back in a second. So I've got the stuff pasted in and copied and set up, so now we're going to scroll down and make these guys what we want. This is chapter title. All we have to do is highlight it and it becomes chapter title. This is chapter subtitle. Highlight it and click, and then roll back down. And the power of Word to save you time, effort, kind of nice. And as I said, all we're doing is we're using that style panel off on the right hand side for easy access, and highlight what we want. This is the chapter title, this is the chapter subtitle, and we can use the taskbar if you want to use the taskbar. I don't use it because it's just a preference. I'm going to continue to highlight these guys, and we'll come back here in a second. I'm making the paragraphs, they're video para 1. This is video para 1. I've already done a couple of them. Just want to bring it over and show you how easy it is. I'm scrolling down however you want to scroll down. I've got a mouse wheel, and we know where it ends because it ends at the beginning of chapter 2. This is video para 2, and that's the process I'm going to go through the rest of the document, and then I'll be back. We have subtitle options available to us, and chapter subtitle options, and we're going to use those by scrolling down and finding where subject matter changes. And let's see if we can find some convenient ones along the way. Otherwise, we'll just make some up. European Arrivals, chapter subtitle. Chapter subtitle. Had to go down to Florida to catch that one. Eastern Florida, chapter subtitle. Missouri. We're going to make chapter subtitle for contents, even though it makes no sense, just to demonstrate how it works and how it plays into table of contents. Nicknames, chapter subtitle. I'm just grabbing things to show you how subtitles play into table of contents. I think we've got enough to do what we want to do. The next thing we want to do is we want to come over to references, and we're going to do what you do is you select this mark entries, and it brings up a dialog box, and I have to click it twice because I was in the video mode. And at this point, what we do is we scroll up to, let me get back up to the top. So I want to mark this. And the box is going to stay open, but see this special text in here? Now we can modify this, and we'll show you how to modify these in a bit. And you can select any of this text you want, and you can mark it. So if it's inside a paragraph, such as this Six Flags Over Texas, I can highlight it, and then I have to activate the box, click X, click mark, and then it throws this in. And I'm going to grab this one here, touch the box to activate it, comes up, now it's here. And how you modify these guys is you don't want to modify, you want the state of Florida to stay like it is, but you want the state of Florida to be listed as a chapter title. So I'm going to put a dash, and I'm going to type in chapter title. And that's going to show up in the index, but not in the document as you print it. And you can select any of these Native American groups. Let's select this text. I click on the box, tell it to mark. Contents, I think we're still in Florida. So this is one we're going to want to modify. Contents. Go back into it and specify that it is Florida, because we may end up with more contents identified. European Arrival. I'm going to highlight several of these, but this is how simple it works. You're inside references, you're selecting mark entry, and you highlight the text you want, like map of Florida. Activate the box so you can see the map of Florida, and click enter, click mark, and now it's marked, and you can modify it as you so desire. I'm going to mark some more, and then I'll be back. One of the things that kind of makes this nice is I've highlighted East Florida and West Florida in British periods. Select the box and turn around and mark it, and okay, now it throws this new text up on it. If you want to delete this, it doesn't take a whole lot. You're up next to it, and when you hit the backspace arrow, because this is one element, it's literally 2 keystrokes to get rid of it. One of the other things you can do to modify these is, like we're in Missouri, we can click activate the entry, and we can put that dash space Missouri as sub-entry, and then mark it, and then it inserts it by itself, puts a colon in automatically, and we're happy with it. So we're going to put in the table of contents first, and table of contents works on styles. So click into the References tab, click Table of Contents, get that drop down arrow on the right, and come down here under Insert Table of Contents and click on it, and it brings you up to this dialog box. With the dialog box, we're going to go to options because Word has its own defaults. We're going to go to options, and what it wants is it wants to list things in the order it for its default. So we're going to take those out. 1, 2, 3, where it lists them, and it lists in the order that it thinks it wants to do it, and we want to list them in a different order. So let me get up here so that we can see all of them. We want the options to be our chapter number first, so that'll be number 1. Our chapter title we want to be second, and our chapter subtitle we want to be third, and that's all we want in our table of contents. Chapter title will be the first, chapter number will be first, chapter title will be second, chapter subtitle will be third. We'll tell it OK, and then we will tell it create. And magic. Now if we change our chapter table of contents, if we change our table of contents, right click into this guy, update the field, and it'll ask you what do you want to do. Update the page numbers only, or update the entire table. I normally take update the entire table, and it will update the entire table. There are some things you can do in here too, because if you don't particularly like this font, you can change it a couple of different ways. You can come back over here, go to home, and let's pick something slightly different just so it shows up different, and you go, hey, kind of cool. We're now going to go to the end of the text way down here, and after the last page of the text we've got, we're going to insert an index. And the way we insert an index is we come over to the right side where that mark entry was. We click on insert index, and because I'm in the video mode, now I've got the dialog box up and operating. One of the things I like to do, and I'm going to show you the options here, you can change the columns that you want. You want 2, 3, 4 columns, whatever. You want it indented. I prefer indented. I'm going to go to 1 column, and I'm going to put the numbers off to the right, and I'm going to tell it OK, and bang, your index is there. Everything that we marked is there. Now, remember how we put that tag Missouri, that sub entry? This is how it shows up. It gives us a new line. So it didn't make 19th century dash Missouri. It made 19th century and then a new line for dash Missouri. And one of the nice things is, in a Word document, these are live text once you save it. As with the table of contents, if you right click this guy, you can update the field, and this one doesn't ask, it just does it automatically. It takes care of it. It's all done with you. And you can also, as we did with the table of contents, you can come over and you can change the font independent of anything else if you want. That's not a problem. So kind of fun. Table of contents indexes in Word are incredibly easy, and they're live. So as you change your document, if you format them using those consistent styles and you mark them as you so desire, they get really easy. Let's step off to section breaks and show you how those are going to work for you. So I'm going to insert a section break that starts on a new page. Section breaks are under page layout, as we addressed in the other one. Come down here, and I've got to move one item here so I can actually see what I'm doing. Section breaks. I want to start on a new page, and section breaks give me incredible power. If we come up, because I've still got my show hide, here's my section break identifier. So I want this chapter to actually start on the very first line. So I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. I'm going to delete this blank line, move these guys up, and now I'm going to want to insert headers and footers. So for headers and footers, I select Insert, bring up headers, and I want different headers and footers on each page, but I've got to select something just to get this process started. I don't want that to be on my chapter page, so I'm going to delete that. I want different first page, different second page, different odds, evens, and that's okay. So let's go off to the next one, and on the next one I'm going to put chapter 1. On the one after this I'm going to put Texas, and I am going to right justify it so that they appear on opposing pages. Then come back to insert. If you're stuck in an edit mode, you can't get out of it, try escape. So we put in that section break, and we put in the header on page 1 of Texas. We have no header because we selected different first page and different odd even page. On page 2 of Texas, we have chapter 1 in the header on the left hand side, but in the middle of page 2 we step off to the state of Florida, and the state of Florida, as we look down here, has Texas in its header. Not what we want, and this is where we use section breaks again. So back into page layout, section break, next page, and that forces Florida into a new page. And when we come down, we can click into that insert the headers footers again, and this time here this time here we want to remove the link to the previous section. We don't want it to be there. Delete that text so it's not in our way. On page 2 of this, this is now chapter 2, so we can do that. Click off. I want to take that off. I don't want that to be linked. So this one here is not Florida, not Texas, it's Florida. And now we go to our next section. I don't want that to be linked either. The linking to previous just catches me literally every time. So as we review our document, now we're going to come up to the very top again, or not the very top, but close to the very top. This came back in. We don't want that there. We want that deleted. Get rid of that. Close header footers. Okay. Texas. No header or on chapter 1. On page 1 of chapter 1, we don't want that. On the left side of chapter 2 of chapter 1, we want I don't want that to be linked to the previous. I want to make this, and this is where those link things get to you every stinking time. Get to me every stinking time. So Texas is chapter 1. It comes up as a header on its page 2. There is no page 3 for this. On Florida, there is no header on the first page. And on the second page, it's got chapter 2. On the third page, it says Florida in the header. And it comes down to the third page, fourth page of Florida, whatever. And now we need to insert another section break. Next page, and then we need to do the headers and remove those links. And this time, very first thing we'll do is remove those, get rid of them. Okay, get rid of that. Now we can come down to the next, and this is going to be remove that link, if I can keep my memory straight. Go to next, remove that link, and this is Missouri. KMOX if you want to know. And then we are going to close the work with the headers and the footers. Now when we come down to the Missouri section, chapter 3 should be on the left hand side, and Missouri should be on the right hand side. And this is how you interact section breaks and chapters and titles, because it isolates the chapters and the titles into their individual pages using section breaks with new page, and then you can remove that link, which keeps confusing me, link to prior, and then you can put individual headers and footers in each section. And footers are going to have the same issue. They want to link, but you're probably going to want to break those in your headers and footers, and in your footer you may want to keep them to keep your page numbers going. So in this video we modified styles. We imposed styles a couple of different ways on the document. We marked the document, items in the document. We created a table of contents, we created an index, and we played with it and had a lot of fun. So guys, I'm hoping this helps you get your work into the format that you want, because as I've said before, editors don't want things that are harsh. They want things that look good right off the bat. They want things as close to camera ready as possible, and if they have to send it out to a formatter, they are going to bill your account. The other thing we did, because we inserted page breaks, we need to update these, update the field, and we need to come up here and update the field because we inserted page breaks, and now we're back to normal. And when we updated the field, it took us back to default text. So if you had modified this text in some manner because you really like Texas, so you bolded this, when you update the field, it would unbold it. Ta-da! I like Texas. I'm going to bold it, and I'm going to leave it that way. And at this point, you can save it, and I hope this, and I did a page break, forced page break, because this would have been my title page where I build my title, and that's not part of the table of contents or the index. Okay, guys, I hope this helped. I enjoy making them. Got questions, let me know. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.